Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
This whole thing, energy, is around us and supports us. So why not use it to your advantage? Heal using energy, i.e., Reiki. And she does that for so many people. We're gonna show you the signs of Reiki and also take the woo-woo out of Reiki. A lot of people think, come on, how's that even work? We're gonna talk about that today. The whole energy thing, I'm gonna start here. She's live and direct from Kauai, Hawaii. And that was part of her journey. And this whole, I believe the energy thing took her there. She's Purnima Chaudhari, and she's back with us. Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you, Steve. So good to be here. Mhm.
Do I have this right that Hawaii, beautiful place to be, was something on your radar and you believed it was going to happen? You took the steps mentally in terms of manifesting, if you will, using harnessing the power of energy to get you there. Am I right in assuming that?
Yeah, I mean, it came to me during a meditation, and I stayed open to it, although initially there was some denial because it's so far and remote, but I listened to the inner voice, and Reiki really helped me to align myself to this whole path that I'm on. And I've witnessed amazing synchronicities since I came here.
And if I remember correctly, you almost weren't believing it. Like, I'm here, but I don't know, but this seems right, but this can't be true. How did this all work out for me?
Yeah, it's hard, because the logical mind says something, and then the heart is saying something else. And most people, go with the logical mind because sometimes what the heart says, it's too bizarre to believe. But and then also all kinds of fears come up with it.
Hmm.
So I was able to release those fears and take that leap of faith.
We're going to get into Reiki and showing people how this stuff works, how this energy thing works. At what point did you truly believe that your journey to Hawaii was real? This is it. This is what I'm doing. It's now I'm out of my head now. Now it's a reality. At what point did that happen for you? What did it feel like?
So I explored all the options, because it was an international move for me, and there are some 3D logistics, that I had to deal with. Um, but more and more, like during my Reiki meditations, I was receiving information that felt very, uh, clear to me that, yeah, this is it, And then once I started uh, making, like taking those steps and actually, decided, okay, this is it. And I actually told people this is what I'm doing, and they all thought I was crazy. But yeah, it just, as soon as I made that decision, it was as though everything started falling into place, like I met the right people. Like everything, Steve, like it's hard to even like list everything, but just it was like magic happening. And I was like, wow, it feels like I'm at Hogwarts. Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
all came from a meditation, this vision of Hawaii. Were you even thinking about Hawaii? How did that pop in your head?
No, no, I was actually thinking of moving to Ontario. But it came to me, and then I have a friend who also, the same thing happened to her, and initially she was also moving here, and I kind of felt like, okay, I have someone who is also going, so there will be like we can support each other. But she never made it, and I ended up
Mm.
here, which is the most beautiful place, paradise. And yeah, And this is not the only thing that has happened to me through like receiving messages through meditations. Like even, for example, uh, the land that I purchased, that also came through a meditation and journeying and, uh, very clear, like exactly where that land was located. So
Mm.
it's, it's incredible how we can receive information from our guides, our higher self, and you know, but it's not just receiving information, but also receiving the empowerment to follow it. Because it's one thing to receive the information, but then how do we, find the courage to follow that? So I feel like for me, Reiki is non-negotiable in my life. It's a part of my daily practice, my daily sadhana. I pretty much use Reiki for everything. And it really helps me to make big life decisions or small decisions. Everything I do is steeped in Reiki.
Mm. And I want to get into Reiki, but I'm fascinated by your Hawaii story because so many of us want to live in paradise, and it happened for you. Um, Everything is a learning experience, everything is part of our journey. Is
Mhm.
there anything you look back on in the last year or so with your journey to Hawaii that you have a regret about? Is there anything so far that you're looking at that you're saying, maybe I shouldn't have, anything like that?
I have absolutely no regrets. In fact, I'm so grateful that I took that leap of faith because I can see how this is in total alignment with my path. I was meant to do this. There are a few things that I would have done differently because, how our 3D human mind wants to control everything, control the outcomes. And so, as I was about to leave and come here, I was trying to organize things. And because I didn't know anything, I was like, oh, what can I do? And you know when you take such big decisions, I feel like planning is out of alignment. You have to go with the divine flow because there's so many unknowns and there's so much uncertainty that if you try to plan something, you actually uh, put hurdles in your path. And so you have to kind of be present and go with the flow, like not get involved, like it's it's that control we like. Our ego likes to control situations and things. And so that was the only thing that when I look back, I
Mm.
tried to do that. And the first, I would say few weeks were a bit challenging because I was like trying to, control the outcome. And of course, then I learned very quickly to let go and, stay present, and then things fell into place. But that's what I recommend, especially during these times when there's so much uncertainty in our world. Like everyone is going through some kind of transformation. And so we, get ahead of ourselves and try to plan things, but it's not always the right thing to do. Of course, there are some things we need to think about, but generally, when you're taking a hard decision, you have to surrender deeply and allow things to unfold in a magical way and not control it.
Is there real uncertainty? What I mean by that is many believe that this is the plan for the universe. You were supposed to go there. This is where
Mhm,
you are supposed to be.
mhm.
Now, you might have gotten there even easier if you just said, "Oh well, I'm getting on a plane. I'm going to Kauai." And if I remember correctly, you didn't even know what Kauai was.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
heard this in a meditation. What's a Kauai? What is that? I only know because I was there. I got married the first time when I was on that island. I haven't gone back since. Um, but you you tried to fight it like many of us do, but Am I right in saying that there is no uncertainty? It's all there. We just make it uncertain.
Hmm. Yeah, some things are destined to be. And, you know, the way like I've really tried to study life and how complex and convoluted it is. And, we know that we are multidimensional beings and we exist in different timelines. And so whatever we desire, whatever comes to our mind already exists. It's not a random thing that comes in our mind. It already exists, but it's like, you know, uh, tuning into it. It's like, if you're trying to listen to a radio station, right? Like, say the radio station is, 102.9. Now, if you go to 102.8, you hear static and some like some voice, but it's like not clear.
Here. Mhm.
And when you hit 102.9, it's like very crystal clear, right? So it is like that when we align our frequency to whatever is we're thinking, it can manifest.
I can't believe you said that because yesterday I was just doing chores on the weekend and I was listening to a radio station, 98.5, and it was coming from Hawaii.
Wow.
I love reggae, and there's a thing called Hawaiian reggae. Is Jamaica reggae, Caribbean is one thing. They blend that on the station. It's out of Honolulu, but they also do island reggae. I'm getting chills. This is what I was listening to yesterday for hours just to make myself
Mhm.
feel like I was in Hawaii. I'm not even kidding. It's like listening to the commercials and everything. And then you bring up the radio station analogy. I don't know. Maybe that's the universe's way of saying, Steve, hello, ding ding. Maybe you belong there. I'm just going to throw this question to you, and then I want to dig deeper into Reiki. But
Mhm.
did you think a lot of people say, and I'm using Hawaii as an example. It's crazy expensive there. There's no way that I could go there. There's no way I'm going to, be able to pull that off. Um, was that a thought in your mind? The cost of living, things like that. Was that part of the derailing in your mind when it was clear that you should go there, but then, well, wait a minute, I don't know if I could afford it. It's, all of that. Was that some of the things that circulated?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I did some research and I could see that it's one of the most expensive places to live. And so I did think about it, but I thought, well, if I'm destined to be there, there will be a way. And I will never have to think about, can I afford this? Because I'm destined to be here. There will be an ease in my life. And really that's what I found. And we are really, Steve, I've had experiences where I was shown how unlimited we are, our potential. And we put these limits on ourselves, like, oh, I can only do this much, or I can only afford this much. But really, like, I remember, I'll share a quick story. When I was shown this particular land, and I had the epiphany actually, and I even had a visual as I was like receiving that, and I was so blown away. I was like, how is this even possible? Like, for me, how is this even possible? And so I had that human ego mind, self-doubt that came up. But then I brushed it aside and I said, I'm going to let it go and really, be open to the possibilities. And in the ceremony that I did, did a journey. And the first thing that I was shown, because my intention was to receive clarity on the epiphany that I received. And the first answer I received was, why do you even ask? Why do you even ask? Do you even know your potential? How infinitely abundant you are? And so, you know, you can command that this is what I want. You don't have to ask, you have to command. And it's like, you might have heard of law of attraction. I know we're taking off on a tangent here, but it's all part of this, that building that trust. And I feel like Reiki is that hotline to source, to that infinite abundant potential that helps me to realize who I truly am and my potential and what I can accomplish. And this whole thing is all to do with what I have come here to do as a soul, to incarnate in this lifetime and what I'm supposed to do. If that is all in alignment, you don't have to worry about things like, will I be able to afford? Of course, because I'm destined to be here. Things will align in such a way that it won't be a problem for me at all. I know that. Yeah.
It's my mom always used to say, it'll always work out. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what it sounds like you're saying when you're following your true self and you felt like you were, especially when you heard a voice or feeling say to you, stop, why are you doing this? Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you need to be doing. It all kind of works out. Like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
us struggle with abundance. I've been there, done that, where it's, what if
Mm-hmm.
I lose this job? What if that happens? What if that happens? I can honestly tell you, and I'm on a journey myself. Why did I worry about that stuff? There
Mm-hmm.
was no even reason for me to worry about that stuff. I just did.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because we're wired to worry and
We are.
be
Yeah.
concerned about those things. But when you're doing what you should be doing, and you know it when you feel it, it all works out. How do
Mm-hmm.
you practice Reiki on a regular basis? Now, you're a practitioner, so a little bit
Mm-hmm.
different. But looking at the rest of us, how can we adopt that as well? Like, I just want to know. Like you said, you do it on a
Mm-hmm.
regular basis. How do you do it?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
So, my meditations are Reiki meditations, and we teach them in the classes, how to
Okay.
meditate with Reiki. And basically, we are turning Reiki on, which is, uh, to explain it in a easy way, we connect with infinite abundant source. We activate the symbols, and those energies start flowing through our channel. Now, it's as easy as taking a breath. When we breathe, we are taking in life force. So similarly, this energy is flowing through us. And what happens then is instantly we are elevated to that level of consciousness, and also that ease that comes with that energy, the joy, the uh, compassion, the happiness, and just the being present. That I feel like that is the most important thing, because it's when we are swinging from past to future, we keep missing on the present moment, and life is happening in the present moment. And when we are present and connected with source energy and our higher self, we are feeling whole, we are feeling grounded, and we are feeling really good. Like, one of the things that Reiki does is it, you know, um, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, and which is our rest response, and then there's the autonomic nervous system, which is all the things that we don't have to think about, like your blood pressure, your heartbeat, digestion, all those things that happen automatically in your body, that are controlled by the autonomic nervous system. They Everything, like they've done studies on this, so that everything, like there's tangible experience with that, how everything just, like, say for example, if you're feeling anxious, it will automatically, calm down your anxiety. So this is something that when I wake up, I do this every morning. It's a non-negotiable part of my day. Every morning and night I
Hmm.
do Reiki, self healing, and then of course I'm doing professionally as well. But like I said in the previous episode, I've taught Reiki to people in all walks of life, like professionals, and people come to me just because they want to learn it as a self-help tool. and something that they have, like a practice that they can regularly lean on and, help themselves. So it's really amazing how, making this a part of your daily life can really shift things in a very positive way.
Do you feel that you were guided to be where you are in Hawaii because it will better support what your life goal and mission is?
Absolutely. 100%.
Hmm. How
Yeah.
how being there, I'm just trying to figure out the universe, with the plan. How is that better supporting what you do?
So, I was given very specific frequencies. I founded that lineage, the New Earth Reiki, and I am doing energy work on a global level. I do bi-weekly global circles where I channel to people from all over the world as it's a group healing for the new moon and full moon. And, so there are certain things that I'm actually now connecting the dots why I was brought here because I asked, uh, why did I have to come here? Why couldn't I do the same thing somewhere else? Like, for example, in Canada, why couldn't I do it there? And you know, it is what I'm trying to do, and this is my understanding, is that this whole ascension process. I think we spoke briefly about it. This ascension to fifth dimensional reality that is happening right now on our planet, and whether people are aware of it or not, like look at the solar flares that are happening and the geomagnetic storms. This is all part of that ascension process where we are receiving, light codes
Hmm.
and it's elevating our consciousness. And so Kauai has that energy, it has that higher level of like I can feel it, as soon as I come here, it's like, oh my God, that dense energy of the 3D is not here. It's not there. So there is in my field, there's so much clarity, that I almost feel like the work I do is more effective when I do it here. I mean, I just feel like a difference in my being and my energy that I feel like I can do like, I mean, it's just,
I got it. You can do
yeah.
it better. You can do your job of helping people better there just because of the
Mhm.
environment and the energy that comes out of Kauai.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by your story, but more so that this came to you in a meditation and you didn't even know that there was a thing called Kauai. You just heard it and you're like, I don't know what that is. Let me just Google this. I don't know. I hope I'm spelling it right. And it was Hawaii. And then fast forward, I don't know, a year, whatever, and you're there. Amazing.
Hmm.
Amazing.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
and
absolutely amazing.
I focused on that today because it's empowering and to show
Hmm.
others when you accept energy and harness the power of it, what it can bring you. And that's just a
Hmm.
piece of it. What about moving
Hmm.
our lives forward? What about healing? What about, even physical things we got going on? Reiki can help you with that. And you're an example
Hmm.
of it. Again, you didn't know what it
Hmm.
was. What is Kauai? What is like I think it's actually kind of funny. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but it's like
Yeah,
that to me is like a whoa, wow. You had no
yeah.
idea where the universe was kind of pushing you along. Why did it push you there and not others? Because you believe in it.
Hmm.
Because you believe in it,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Hmm. And life like through COVID, it was filled with challenges.
Sure.
And but I feel like challenges are opportunities to grow and evolve. And so through those challenges, I was literally I saw how things were stripped away from me that I could actually make that decision. Yes, I can do this, because now all my whole life was like stripped away from me. That, and it was done in such a way that I had no control over it, really, you know. And so I saw how the universe prepared me to make this decision and come here. Like when I look at my life, like say 5 years ago, it would have been impossible for me to make that decision to come here. But it like I was prepared for this. So, that's another thing that we have to look at, that what changes have occurred, and how we were prepared for something big like this. And then, it also supports you to take that leap of faith and feel like, oh yeah, like this wouldn't have happened. And now I'm like, connecting all the dots, and I'm blown away by how things make sense now, like a year and a half later, how everything makes sense. Like, oh my God, yes, like light bulbs.
And that's the interesting part too. It's not like you just up and went with reckless abandon. You had some doubts about going there. And like, should I go?
Mhm.
It wasn't like you were just, the car screeching down the road, like, I'm going anywhere. You wondered about it, but you took that leap of faith because you believe in the universe and that energy
Mhm.
directs us if we're open to it.
Mhm.
Fascinating. It was totally fascinating. Purnima, how do
Mhm.
we connect with you? Somebody wants to learn more about Reiki, energy,
Mhm.
life path, all of this. What do they do?
Well, they can check my website, innerjourneyreiki.com, and I have all the classes listed there. I also offer one-on-one healings. I also do global healing sessions where people can participate for a small donation, and it's very supportive. It's a bi-weekly tune-up that people receive, and lots of people participate in that. And then, I also would like to mention that 10% of the proceeds go to Wildlife Conservation Society. And they're doing amazing work to help the animals and the habitats and all the wildlife on our planet. So I'm very deeply connected with that cause, and I love supporting that. And so, yeah, people can check out my website, and then also find me on Instagram at Purnima_Chaudhari.
Thank you for sharing your inner journey with us. Thanks for being our professional of the year
Mm-hmm.
and for everything today.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.